If you're feeling stuck in your career, you are not alone. You have been on the same path in your career for years now, and deep down, you know that that job is miserable. Maybe you wake up dreading Mondays, maybe even Sundays. You are counting down the hours until your workday is over. You are venting about your job to your loved ones, and candidly, they're tired of hearing it. Or worse, maybe you're even starting to actually resent your loved ones because they like their jobs. And it's all making you feel drained, unmotivated, and worst of all, hopeless that there's even a fulfilling career out there for you. Here's the thing. It's not your fault that you don't know what's next for you. If you have only ever been exposed to a handful of career paths, how can you be expected to see all the possibilities that are out there? And even worse, if you actually grew up believing that work is meant to be miserable, then it's going to be hard for you to believe that a fulfilling career exists for you. But imagine waking up excited about your work, feeling energized by your work instead of drained, knowing that you have options and not feeling trapped. That is exactly what is possible for you when you explore the career options that are out there for you. So in today's video, I'm going to share 3 strategies to help you figure out what your next career move needs to be so that you can finally be happy and joyful and fulfilled in your career. Let's get into it. Hi, if this is your first time here on my channel, welcome. I'm Dr. 𝙁𝙤𝙣𝙙 𝙔𝙤𝙪𝙧. I'm a career counselor and coach, and I work with women who are feeling unhappy and miserable in a soul-sucking job and help them really start to discover all the options that are available to them so that they can find a job that actually excites them without starting over or taking a pay cut in their salary. Now, if you find this video helpful as you're watching, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons below. Let's jump into today's video. Okay, so the first strategy that you need to engage in if you're trying to figure out your next career move is that you need to engage in career discovery. Engage in career discovery. Here's what you have to realize. Over your adult lifetime, you have only been exposed to maybe 40, max 50 jobs. So like if you just think of your life, when you go to the doctor's office, you know what a doctor does or what a nurse does. When you go to the gas station, you see what a cashier does. When you go to the dentist, you see what a dentist does. When you go get your hair done, you see what a hairdresser does or a nail shop, whatever it may be. Or maybe if your job has clients or vendors that you work with, then you get to see, okay, this is what happens in this industry. This is an idea of what they do. My point is, in your adult lifetime, just living your life day in, day out, there's actually a small fraction of jobs that you get exposed to in daily life. Meanwhile, in the world right now, there are like 12,000 jobs available, or at least I should say 12,000 career paths, not job specific. So imagine that 40% of 12,000 is like less than 1%. You are aware of less than 1% of the career options that are available to you right now. So it's no wonder you feel stuck when you're in a job that you hate, a job that you have hated for years. And so when you're trying to figure out what else should I do, what else should I do, all your brain is coming up with are the things that you know, right? Doctor, lawyer, teacher, counselor, I'm trying to think of what I know, accountant, data analyst, right? Like that's all your brain is coming up with. And you can't see yourself in any of those jobs. You're like, I don't want to be a doctor or an accountant or a lawyer, but you don't actually know what else is available to you in terms of jobs that you can do with your existing skill set. So when you recognize that your knowledge of available jobs is very limited and you're trying to figure out a different career path that you will enjoy and thrive in, you will see that what you need to do is discover the options that are available to you. That's why it's called career discovery. So you just first need to expand your, I would say, lens of what is possible for you in your career. Start researching roles. There are so many different career search websites out there. Even LinkedIn, you can use to do research, not to job search. Look at roles and really go beyond just reading a job description. Ask yourself, what might this job look like on a day-to-day basis? What are the skills required? Do I have or enjoy any of those skills? Find people who are doing things you've never heard of before and talk to them. Ask them about their jobs. What do you do when you wake up, when you go to sleep? What does life look like for you? But you have to first and foremost just expand your horizon of what is possible for you. Once you do that, you will actually start feeling hopeful because you will see that there are a bunch of different options available to you right now. Like I can tell you, like my full-time job right now is as a professor, but I know 3 other different career paths that I will enjoy and thrive in because I have the interest, the values, and the skills to do them. So just take a step back and really start exploring what options are available to you. Don't try to rely on your existing knowledge because that's why you feel hopeless. Your existing knowledge is very limited. Do intentional research to see what other options exist, and you'll find that you have options and you are hopeful and you will be willing to take action to actually change your career situation. Like I think of one of the clients that I work with in my group coaching program, Find Your Fulfilling Career, FYFC. She had been in the mental health field for years. She had been a clinician in the mental health field and she was unhappy for like 4 years, which is why she joined my group coaching program. And she started doing the career discovery work that I walk my clients through in the program. I remember her saying, I can't believe I have this many skills. Like she was, first of all, just amazed at the number of skills that she had. And then she was able to go on and transition into an entirely different role outside of the mental health field, something she never thought was possible for her. And she said before discovering her options, she didn't feel confident in making a change. She wasn't clear about what change she wanted to make. But once she knew that she had multiple skill options and even career options available to her, she was now applying to jobs that she never thought she could do in the past. Now, the second strategy that you need to engage in if you are trying to figure out your next career move is that you have to use a structured framework to do your research. And here's what I mean by that. If you have been working in your career for any number of years, 5, 8, 10, 12 years, you have developed what I call career blinders, meaning you are like this when you think about your career. You only see yourself doing what you have always done. Your brain has locked itself into this identity of I am a insert your job here. So when I wake up, I sit at my computer. Here's what I do. Here's who I talk to. Here are my reports. Here's my routine. That's what you're used to. That's what you're familiar with. And so when you go to actually try to find a different job, your brain is naturally going to default back to what it knows, the jobs you've done in the past that you already hate. Which is why you need a structured framework that will help you in doing your research. Because when you have a structured framework, meaning you know what you're looking for in a job, you know how to research, you know how to very quickly say no to some options and say yes to some options, then you can actually step outside of the box that your brain is going to try to put you in when you're thinking about your next career options. Like you can start seeing yourself in a new light, which then allows you to open yourself up to those options that you have been looking for or even thought about. And that's why when I work with my clients in my coaching program, we create something called a fulfilling career manifesto. And this document is usually based off of information that they have learned about themselves, their values, their interests, their skills, their mindsets. We paint a picture of what kind of work will I thrive in without using job titles, because that just puts you in a box when you use job titles. When you have a document like that, which my clients usually do, and you go to start researching, now you have parameters, okay? You know very quickly, this job, nope, move on. This job, maybe put it here. This job, yes, let me research it more. And because you have painted this picture that is not just a restating of what you've been doing in your career, you are actually open to looking at jobs from a new lens. And it's like, okay, I think I can do this job. It matches with what I said I want to do. It matches with my work tasks, the skills I want to do, my values. Okay, this is a viable option. And because you've created this manifesto or you have a framework that you're working with, if you're not in my program, now when you're looking at a job, you don't automatically say no, because that's what your brain does. When you look at a job that you've never done before, you automatically are like, I don't have the skills. I can't do that. But when you have a framework you're following, you actually are open to those options and you're seeing, actually, I have the skills to do that. I just had never thought about it before. The other reason why a framework is very important is, remember I said earlier, there are like 12,000 jobs out there in the world. If you don't have a structured framework, when you go to do research, you're going to get overwhelmed. You're going to read job postings. You're going to read about different types of career paths. And your brain is just like, I don't know. What if this is as bad as the other one? What if I can't do this job? What if I hate it? What if? You're going to be overwhelmed. When you have a structured framework that you're following, like the Fulfilling Career Manifesto my clients use in my coaching program, it's easier for you to, first of all, like I said earlier, say no, which means you're not looking at thousands of jobs. You're looking at a select few jobs that you already know match who you are. Like in my program, my clients usually are researching 3 to 5 job options that they already know they have a high likelihood of enjoying, being good at, and thriving in. So they're not reading about thousands of jobs. They have a select few so that the research is faster and they don't get overwhelmed in the process. And then the third strategy that you're going to want to engage in if you're trying to figure out your next fulfilling career move because you hate your job now is that you're going to need to look beyond your work experience. This is a mistake that I see so many women fall into when they're trying to find a different career path, is that you're just going based off of your work history, your resume, the jobs you've done in the past. But guess what? If you are like most of the women I work with, you have hated your jobs for like the past 10 years. The past 8 years, the past 15 years. I remember one client said she had hated her job for 15 years and she knew, but she just stayed because it was comfortable and safe. So you can't use those past 15 years as the metric because you didn't like what you were doing. So all it's going to tell you is to do more things that you don't like, which is how women end up in what I call the bad job cycle, where you hate your job, so you get into a new job, and then within 4 months, you hate that job, so you leave and you get into another job. And then within 6 months, you hate that job too. And now you're worried about being a job hopper because you've changed jobs 4 times in the past 3 years. But you know you hate this job too. But now you're stuck because you're like, how am I going to explain this, all these changes on my resume? The problem is that you have been going off your work history, but you know you don't like your work history. So what you need to do is look outside your work experience. Your personal life will usually leave context clues about what you will enjoy in your career. And when I say your personal life, I mean, go as far back as high school, college, internships. Like, what did you used to enjoy before? And then even now, when you think about your life, what do you do in your free time? What are your hobbies? What lights you up? What energizes you? All of these things leave context clues. And my own story is the perfect example of this because growing up, I thought I was going to be a medical doctor just because, I'm Nigerian. So I grew up in a society where like good jobs were doctor, lawyer, nurse, engineer, maybe if that. And while my parents never put any sort of requirements on me, I still fell into the trapping of society. And I always said I wanted to be a medical doctor. Like literally, I remember this so clearly. It was in high school. My best friend said she was going to be a pediatrician. And I was like, I'm going to be a pediatrician too. I was like 12 or 13. And yes, I was 15 when I started college. I was in high school when I was 12. But so I remember like for the longest time, I thought I was going to be a doctor. I majored in biology in college. I took the MCAT, which I failed, by the way. I ended up in a healthcare research job that I hated also. But it's like I had been following this path without really thinking about it. Now I'm a professor and a counselor and a coach. Literally, my entire job is talking to people. I never would have seen that, or rather I would have been confused if I hadn't looked back and I realized that when I was in high school, I used to be on the public speaking team and I used to win debates. Like I was talking from the time when I was a kid. When I look back on many things, like just in my childhood, it makes sense for who I am now and what I do now and what I enjoy doing professionally. We often get conditioned out of the things that we truly want and desire to do because of society, priorities, responsibilities, whatever it may be. So what I'm asking you to do is just pause and just think back to young you, the young version of you, or even you now. I remember I have a client who, when she was in my program FYFC, one thing that came up for her was that she loved doing things with her hands. Like she had just built a closet from scratch in her home. And she was like, I realized that I really enjoy working with my hands. I had never thought about that before. And guess what? We used that to help her make a decision about her next career move so that she was in a role that involved using her hand. Your personal life leaves context clues about what you will enjoy in your future. Now, I know there's a part of you that might be thinking, I've already tried to look at different jobs. Nothing excites me. If nothing excites you, you probably haven't really clarified who you are yet. You don't know your values. You don't know your interests. You don't know your skills. That's why you think nothing excites you, or you're not doing your research well. Research is a skill in itself, especially when you're researching jobs. If you don't have the right information, it's going to be hard for you to make a decision about your next career move. So if you are ready to find work that you love this year, then I want you to try the 3 strategies that I shared in this video. Engage in career discovery, use a structured framework, and look beyond your work history. When you navigate or engage in these 3 things, you will start to see what options are available to you, and you will become more hopeful about actually finding work that you love and enjoy. Right now, you actually have more options that are available to you than you know or think that are available to you, and you can find fulfilling work. But if you're saying, these sound good, but I don't want to waste time trying to figure this out on my own. I'm trying to get into a new job that I like yesterday, then I want to invite you to check out and join my group coaching program, Find Your Fulfilling Career. FYFC is a group coaching program, a 12-month group coaching program that was built for women who are unhappy in their careers. In this program, we're going to discover all of the career options that are available to you, and then you will engage in research to pick your next role so that you can leave your miserable job and land a job that you're actually excited about while increasing your salary by 5 figures. Go to findyourfulfillingcareer.com. That URL is going to be in the description below to learn more about FYFC and how you can join us so that you can finally get into work that you enjoy. I hope you found this video helpful, and remember that you're not stuck. You just haven't seen what is possible for you yet. If you did find the video helpful, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button below. It helps the channel grow. And before you tap off, make sure you watch the next video that's popping up on the screen here so you can continue to get support for your career. Thanks for watching.